Today I'm going to cook butternut squash soup, and it's butternut squash with thyme. Now this is a recipe that I found in the step-by-step low-fat cookbook, and this dates back to the early 2000s, and you can see from the different tags on the back how many recipes I use out of this, and this is a really, really delicious soup, as they all are, but let's see. Now, if you're not familiar with a butternut squash, this is what it looks like when you see it in the supermarket or vegetable store. And the idea is that you cut it in half. If it's this big, to be honest, I would cut it there first and then I'd cut it down the middle, because it's a bit like a melon. It has seeds in the middle, so you want to scoop those out. You want to peel the skin. Now, tip here, the skin is really quite hard, so make sure you've got a good peeler, and it's not a vegetable that you want to keep in your fridge for 3 weeks. It looks perfectly fine, and it probably would be, but the longer you leave it, the harder it is to peel. So let's get cracking. I've got my frying pan here. Well, I use it not so much as a frying pan, but it's just a lovely big pan that I can cook soups in if I feel they're going to be too big for my wonderful soup maker. If I want to make a really big quantity, this is what I use. So I'm letting that just heat up, and then I'm going to spray it with a bit of rapeseed oil spray, and just spray that in. Here we go. So I've got onion to go in, I've got celery to go in, and I've got the butternut squash that's already been chopped. So let's get the onion in here first. I'll use this, I think. There we go. And so in goes the onion. And basically all we're doing here is cooking this for 2 or 3 minutes, just to soften it slightly. And I think it just gives a little bit of flavour, to be honest, to the butternut squash. I really like doing this. I think it adds a special flavour to it by giving it a bit of a dry fry. So that's going in there as well. And we'll leave that to dry fry for a few minutes. And then I'm going to add the celery as well. That's good. That's it. That's good. Now, thyme. Thyme is a really interesting herb. And there is a bit of a knack to how you prepare it. So it's quite woody, quite twiggy. So it comes out like this. Now, I've had a few goes at this over a period of years, and it's these single twigs that you really, really want. Because when you have these single twigs, all you have to do is, so this is my little pot of thyme, all you have to do is hold it firmly at the top and just run your fingers down the sides. Just pick these off. It's much more difficult. You could do it with a knife if you wanted to. If you see a chef doing it, they'll probably do it with a knife. And you just take those little leaves off. But the flavour, just as I've done that now, the flavour, the aroma that goes into the air is just beautiful. And it gives a really stunning flavour to this. Now, if you're somebody who is a gardener and you're wondering what things to grow this year, then lemon thyme is particularly suited to this particular recipe. So let's give these a bit of a stir. And then once they've had a bit of a sort of dry fry in there, I'm going to add some stock. Now, as with all soups, I like to not put too much stock in at the beginning, because I can always add more later. So enough to enable it to bubble away quite happily. You could make it in a soup maker, it wouldn't be any problem at all, but I would still suggest that you dry fry it at the beginning. So I'm going to pour some, it's been doing it just for the sake of time. Oh, I need to add some garlic as well, I nearly forgot that. So let's put some garlic in, shall we? So garlic is such a wonderful, wonderful addition to any recipe. So let's put that in there. And this is easy garlic. I mean, it depends how much garlic you like to eat, really. But, I mean, this is such a great asset in any kitchen, because you can just keep it in your fridge. Any recipes that you're doing, any meal that you're doing, you need a bit of garlic, you just put your teaspoon in there and get it out, and in it goes. So you can hear this sizzling away now. So to be honest with you, I'd probably do that for another 2 or 3 minutes, but we need to move on. So I'm going to add my stock to it. So I've got 2 pints here, that's 1,000 millilitres, a litre, near enough. So I'm going to leave that now to allow it to bubble away, but I'm going to add 3 more ingredients. I'm going to add a vegetable stock pot, so that will just give it an extra flavour, which will be fab. And then I'm going to add the thyme that I've already prepared. So that's going in. I can't tell you enough what a difference that makes. And then I'm also going to put in a couple of bay leaves. These will be removed before I put it into the blender. So we're going to put that all in there, leave it to bubble away. I'm going to put the lid on it and come back to it probably in about 20 minutes. Lid, here we go. And we'll just leave that simmering away there and it will smell fantastic. So here we have our butternut squash and thyme soup. Now, before I do anything with it, I need to remove the bay leaves. So 1, 2, very helpfully, 3 and 4. Very helpfully it came to the top of the surface. And now I'm going to put this into my soup maker. Again, you could cook it in a soup maker, it depends how much you're doing, but I really like to cook the onions in a pan first. I just think it's more tasty, and I like to sort of keep it boiling until I know that they're soft, so it's entirely up to you. But it smells amazing. I can really smell the thyme. And yeah, I'm not tipping it up because this pan is so heavy. It's cast iron and it really, really is heavy. So the celery has all gone into nice soft form and the onions are well and truly soft. We're nearly there, and that's it. Then I'm going to pour the rest in. So that's in, that'll be a bit full, but we'll be fine. And so if we do this, I'm going to find this difficult to do to camera, so excuse me doing this way. That's it, there we are. Right, it's done like that. Now, I think it needs a bit more of the stock to that, so I'm going to pour in a bit of cold stock. It won't matter, it'll heat up in, because the vegetables are so very hot. It will be absolutely great. So I'm going to put this on my soup maker base and I'm going to blend it. Where's my lid? Here we go. And I'll tell you one thing I haven't added yet, and that is any black pepper. So I'm just going to, I put black pepper in everything. I mean, you don't have to, but yeah, I do. I'm going to put that in there and then put my lid on here, and we're going to go for it. Let's see how we go. That's great. And turn that off. I'm going to pulse it now to just sort of stir it around inside. You see it moving when it does this. And then here we go again. Oops. And there we are, there we are, there we are. Right, now, you don't have to do this, but you can add some yoghurt at this point if you wish. Oh, that's why it made that noise, because I haven't put the little top in. Not to worry, good job it didn't go onto the ceiling. So what you can do is put a bit of yoghurt and just mix it into it. So let's do that now. And just mix it, makes it really creamy and lovely. You don't want to heat it up anymore because the yoghurt really doesn't want to be cooked. It will just curdle. So I'm going to put a little bit more in there, and if you can find live yoghurt to put in there, all the better, because it's really, really good for our gut. So there we are. So I'm going to put it into our bowl, which is our warm bowl, all ready to serve, and pour that in. You can see this beautiful colouring and consistency and everything. Anybody having this, it'll be a very substantial lunch. Have it with some nice whole grain bread, or you could serve it as a starter for a dinner party. So I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm going to need a teaspoon actually for this, I've got one here. And with a little bit of yoghurt, I'm just going to drizzle it around. I put it in the middle and then just put some little dots around the side like this. There we have it. One more. Another one there. There we go. And there is our beautiful butternut squash and thyme soup.